welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. So today's video is gonna be me cutting my brother's hair. And before we get into the actual video, I just want to give you a quick rundown on how to like do the fade and like different little steps. And if you're coming from TikTok, thank you so much for the support. The video did really well in my eyes. So here's the video that I promised, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick little drawing on how to do my brother's fade, kind of like step by step. So what we're gonna do first is when you start the haircut, we're gonna clear everything here just to get a base of like the fade. So I like going in with the two. I like going in with the 2 guard first. Just gives me a nice dark base. So I usually where you know when to stop when you go up with the clipper guard is you just want to go straight up. And usually my brother's hair curves like right here, like right around here. So if it curves, say if this is his head, just roughly, if this is his head and you go straight up, then you start building shape because the hairs are gonna lay like this, so you get that nice square look. But if you go, say if you did take the 2 guard and you go like this, you start giving him more of like a slanted, usually like for like faux hawks and stuff, for people who wear their hair like, you know, like kind of like this. But that's not how I usually like it to do it. I usually just like to go straight up with it, give him a nice shape a little bit kind of in the front. He usually doesn't care too much about the back. He just likes it really short in the back also. So I don't really do too much shape with around the back. But anyways, my brother likes getting a high fade, so he likes the skin line pretty high here. I usually do the skin line just like this. So the reason why I curve it is because the hair density on my brother is really inconsistent. It's pretty light here on the sides, but it's pretty dense here on the back, just like me. So if I were to do my fade, if I just went straight across with my fade, if I just went straight across like this, then the fade would look too compressed in the back because my blending area with the back compared to the front is inconsistent. So if I do it like this and I curve it, then I get a way better area of blending, almost the same as the front. You can even drop it more in the back, like you can even do it like probably like even lower than that. But yeah, roughly around like that is how I usually do my brother's fade, just to get a nice even transition. Like it's way easier to blend the front, not the front, it's way easier to blend the sides rather than blending the back, because the back is way denser. Usually in those barber sets, they may or may not come with trimmers, but you can use them on this head if you want to, but usually you just have the clipper itself. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the clipper and you're going to close the lever. So the lever is that little handle, obviously, and right now if it's closed then it's 0, if it's open then it's 0.5. So you're going to close it and you're going to take the skin line and you're going to make a line just like this. So this is his line up. So you take it from the corner and then drop it down. So that's going to be 0. Then here is going to be 2. So we have to use all the guards and blend all of this together, this whole area, because all of this is going to be pretty much gone. So usually what I like to do next when I set it up like this, I like going with my 1 guard and I go up just about halfway, or even a little bit higher than halfway, and I make my 1 line right here. Because for some reason, I don't know if it's just how I do it, but blending the 1 into the 2 is pretty easy. Like I don't really need too much room to blend it, so I take it about halfway. But everybody has their own style of fading. This is just how I do it. My brother likes the way I cut his hair. Well, it's not like he has a choice because he gets it for free, but this is just how I like to cut my brother's hair. So I take the 1 and I bring about an inch here, bring it a little higher in the back, and then I make my line, my second line. So we have this line, the 1 line, and then the 0 line. So we're going to start off by blending this line off first. So you're going to take that white, well, depending on what kind of clipper set you have, you're going to take the 1.5 guard and then you're gonna try and blend. You're gonna attack this line and go up about this high. Again, try not to take it all the way too high, but kind of just go right under this with the 1.5 guard. And you can play around with the lever, like, you know, you can, if you put the 1.5 guard on and you open the lever, then it's gonna be a 2, because like that's just basic math. But the thing is with the lever, it is 0.5, but when you put the guard on, it's not exactly gonna be a 2. Like it's gonna be like a point, I don't know, 1.9 or something like that. So it's gonna make a nice transition smooth from the 1 to the 2. So you're gonna go up around here with the lever open or something, and then like down here with the lever closed. But between this area should be the 1.5 to blend it into the 2. And then usually if the line's not gone, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the one guard again, and then you're gonna open the lever and then just flick out right at this line. And usually most of the time it'll take the line out, but obviously, you know, blending out lines does take time. You can't really get this like on the first try. If you do get on the first try, hey, congrats, like good job. But most of the time when I started out, I had a lot of trouble like blending out lines between the 1 and the 2. But you know, that just takes time for some people it doesn't. But usually through these steps, you know, like opening the 1.5 guard and then playing around with it and then using the 1 guard open, usually that takes this line, the 1 line out, and you should have a nice transition fade for this part. And then usually when that's done, I like taking the 0.5, so the lever open, and going halfway between the line in a flicking motion, like a C motion, just so you don't make another line, because if you make another line, it's just another thing to worry about. But you're not going to get like a perfect fade once you flick out. You're going to get like a little bit of a tough transition, but that's okay. Like we're going to come back to it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So what you're going to do is like I said, I like taking my 1.5 guard and going about halfway. And then if the line's not gone, then you can just put it halfway. The lever, you can put the lever halfway and make it like 0.25, and then just kind of just attack this line. And then if it's still not gone, maybe even close it just a little bit more, making it like, I don't know, 0.1 or something. And then just to keep tacking that line, and remember to use the corners. Actually using the corners of your blade is a big deal. It's usually to get into those tight areas that still show like a little bit of rough transition. But through practice and time, usually you don't really have to do too much corner work. Actually, that's a lie. I do a lot of corner work still, but most of the time, like to get the line out, like you don't really have to. But like if you want to get really into detail, then you do corner work, which is what I like to do because I like taking my time with my haircuts. But once you go in with that half line, and then you blend it down to the 0, this should all be faded, like all of that. Then you have your last bit right here. So what you're gonna do is Wall gives you a 0.5 guard. So what you're gonna do is that with that is you're gonna go up. You're gonna go up. Actually, here, this is getting really sloppy. So we're gonna take all of this out. All of this. So this and this should be faded. So then you should have just one last line to get out. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the half guard on, and which should be on, if you have just a regular set, it should be the gray guard or just whatever it says 0.5. You're gonna do the same thing, play with the lever, open it, close it, and try to just get that line out. I like to just going in straight with the half guard and with it closed, flicking out right at this line. But if you make another line, don't worry about it. Just open the lever, make a 0.5 or 0.4, whatever, and then just go. But don't go right at that one line. Kind of just, because it should be blended, so it should be gone, and then just go right under. And with the 0.5, with the 0.5 guard. You make another line, open it, make it like 0.9 with the 0.9 or whatever with the half guard open, and then just work down. Like just go, close the lever, take off the guard, maybe go in with the lever open again, and then blend it in some more here. But in the end, all of this should blend in really nicely with each other, because wall does a really good job of giving you a decent amount of guards to help everything blend together. So here's just a quick little version of what we just talked about. So 2, 0, halfway, 1, blend here, 1.5, blend here, 0.5 with the guard. Guard. So this should all be 0, this should all be 2. From till here should be the 2 because it's your base. Blend from the 2 to the 1 with the half guard, and if you need to use the 1 guard, open. Then from halfway to blend from the 0 to the 1, take your 0.5 halfway, then blend down, then take your half guard, and then blend up. And then all of this should be blurry. Alright guys, just like any other haircut, you want to wet the hair down and comb it into place. Like I said in the drawing that I did, we're going to go in with the 2 guard, and we're going to go straight up with it, just following the shape of his head to give it some shape. So what this does pretty much is it's gonna give us the base of our haircut. This is gonna be like the darkest point pretty much. So like right here, it's open, now it's closed. We're gonna go in with the 0, and we're gonna bring it pretty high, right at the corner of his lineup. Like I said before, like he doesn't get the fade just because how it looks. He just likes it because it's just short, and he doesn't really care about the fade at all. He just wants it to last long. And you want to make sure you keep this line pretty clean, nice and even. And as you can see, I curved it a bit, just like I said in the drawing. If you don't have the trimmers or like the balder, you don't have to make this too clean. Just kind of go in with it, and then maybe come back with your trimmers and take off the rest of the bulk. What I'm doing right now is my brother likes the bald fade, so I'm going with my trimmers just below the 0 line. And this is what we got right now. And then I go in with my balder. But you guys can just skip this, because if you guys don't have this stuff, then you don't really need to watch this. But if you want to, enjoy this part. Right here, we're gonna go in with the 1 guard now, like I said, and we're gonna go up about that much. It's about 1.5 inches, maybe inch. So yeah, same thing, same idea with the 0. You want to kind of just drop it down a bit, make sure it's all even, nice and clean. You don't want any dark spots or anything like that. One of the main things that I took away from barber school was that barbering is all about finesse, and one of my teachers told me that the more you flick out, the easier it is for you to get those lines out later on when you're trying to knock them out. So right now we're going with the 1.5 guard open. So like I said, this is probably like a 1.9 if it's open. Just gonna help us blend that 1 line into the 2 more. So yeah, eventually you want to close that lever, and then just keep attacking that line. But if not, then we just hit it with the 1.5. We hit it with the 1 open right here. What my teacher taught me in barber school was you gotta keep going over the line. You're not gonna get it out in 1 stroke. You just gotta keep repeatedly going over it. And as you can see, the line's starting to disappear. The 1 is starting to blend in with the 2. And if you have to close the lever to get the 1 line gone, then you can go right ahead. Just try not to bring it up too high, making sure flicking, and you're using your corners to blend it. But it's looking pretty good right now, but we still gotta get out that 0 line. So right now I'm going in with the half right now, with the lever open, no guard, and we're just flicking out. We're going up about like 1/2 inch, making sure we're flicking out, not going below the 1 that we did. And yeah, just play it like I just did right there. I closed it like halfway, so it's like at 0.25, and just keep attacking that line. Just keep going at it. Try not to go like as high as you did with the 0.5. Obviously, you want everything to flow nicely into each other. And then use your corners. And if you have to close it to get that 0 line out, go ahead, do that. But now we're going with the last clipper guard, which is the half guard. And we're gonna attack that last little line that I made. This is pretty much a 1, so we're just gonna go over where that 1 was before, just to blend it in again. And then, like I said before, just keep on attacking it, and eventually the line will go away. Right now it's looking pretty good. Eventually I'm gonna close the guard, just to get it a little more of a transition. There's still like little tiny spots that I can see that aren't really blended yet. So right now it's looking pretty good. But we still got a 1 part to do left. So y'all are probably wondering, how do I get the hanging stuff off? So this is what you could do, is if you comb the hair down and kind of run the two with it, it'll get some of it off. But if you have a flat comb like this, then that's way better. You're gonna hold it flat to his head and try to angle it straight up. Don't slant the comb, hold the comb straight up while pressing it against his head. That'll build a nice square shape just like that. Like I said before, my brother doesn't care too much about the back, so I just take it really short in the back. So this is just a quick time lapse of me just blending the other side. I focus just showing you guys on the right side. This is his left side. He usually gets the notch on that side also, so if you're wondering what that line is, we're gonna put the notch in later. But I think this is a good time to just, you know, tell you guys something about me. So I'm 21 from Vancouver, British Columbia, here in Canada. I started barbering when I think I was in high school. I was high school senior year. So in my senior year, you know, I didn't really know what I wanted to do as far as university, or I didn't even know if I was gonna even go to university. You know, I wasn't really good at like math or science or anything like that. And then I was cutting like my own hair in the summer, just kind of like, you know, saving money. And my friend goes, "Why don't you go to barber school?" And I said, "Is that even a thing?" It was funny because I saw this Gary Vee video and it was just like, you know, if you're young and you don't know what you do, you should be like quadrupling down on whatever you're good at right now. And you know what? I was thinking like, you know, I'm decent at barbering, you know, I cut my friend's hair sometimes. I do like, you know, an okay job. I cut my own hair, I do an okay job. So you know what? Why not, you know, give barbering a shot? So I Google it when I get home. And the first thing comes up is London School of Barbering. And you know, I applied. They replied back to me like really fast. They said, "Yep, we can enroll you. We'll see you in September." I said, "Dope." And then rest is history. I always knew that I was gonna be in a profession that would let me express my creativity, and I really think barbering is a suitable fit for me for sure. I kind of rushed this side also when I was doing this, just so I can just continue making the rest of parts of the video. But this part's it's kind of tricky, but not really. So what you're gonna do is when you're cutting the top, you're just gonna comb all the stuff over like I'm doing right now to whatever side, if you want to keep it blended. You're just gonna comb it all to one side and almost kind of like grab it, just like that. And then you're just gonna snip whatever's hanging. And then you just keep repeating that, doing that at least 5 times or 4 times, going back to make sure everything is cut and nothing's hanging over. Same thing with the left side. And then for the top, you're just gonna hold the hair straight up and then snip however much you want off. And then you just, same thing, you just go backwards like a couple times, like 3-4 times, make sure everything's even. We learned a method called cross-checking. I'll show you in a bit, but it's a good way to make sure everything's even. Yep, so see how I was taking horizontal sections, now I'm taking vertical sections to make sure everything's even. So this part of my brother's hair is really tricky. It's really dense in this one part, so if I don't really focus on that, or if I don't thin it out, it's gonna look really clumpy there. But other than that, my brother's hair is not too hard to cut. Actually, it's pretty easy to blend. And right here, you know, if you want that little line like my brother does, you can just go ahead, put that in your friend or your brother or yourself if you want. And then this is just a basic lineup. I don't do a front lineup on him. You know, I don't really do stuff like that. And if you have the blade, if you have the straight razor, you might as well just use it. This is me just giving my brother a simple lineup, nothing too crazy. My brother just asked for another line, so I just gave him another one. And not gonna lie, I cut him a bit. And don't worry, I gave him that nice spritz of alcohol that everyone loves. So just give it a quick blow dry. Everything seems to like lay differently once you blow dry it. My brother doesn't really do anything with it. He kind of either spikes it up a bit or just wears it down. So this is just a little bit of detailing that I'm doing right now. I saw a couple of swatches that need to fix. Alright everyone, so this is the final product. Hope you guys enjoy. Like I said, I'm no master barber. This is just how I like to cut my brother's hair, and this is just how I like to do things. You can see there's still a tiny bit of a line there. You know, I could have easily put the camera down and redid it, but you know, I said to myself, you know, I'm just gonna leave that there, because before I picked up the camera, I said to myself, you know, this is my final product, you know, I'm happy with it. But you know, the cameras do a great job of really like picking out the little details. That just goes to show, you know, like I'm not perfect, I'm far from it, but you know, every day, you know, when I cut hair, I try to just be better than I was yesterday. So this is the final product and I'm happy with it. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, just like everybody else out there. So this is the final product. I'm happy with it, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys can, you know, duplicate this on your friends, on your brother, on your dad. So I hope you guys enjoy.